How's everybody doing? We're going to be creating triangles. Triangles. I've done this in a video before. Here is my first triangle. And where can it fit my triangle? It can fit right here into the next triangle. And then my next triangle will be a three-part triangle. And then we'll be able to put one triangle, two triangles, and three triangles together. Now, I don't know much about math, but I do know a little bit about how shapes can fit and don't fit into each other. When I take my triangle here, and these two slopes are 225, okay, and 135. Together, they create the plane of 360. IR is what comes out of this. 3 times 6, 3 plus 6, equals 18R equals 09I. 27 is this answer, and this answer is 63 reverse. 3 and 3, 6. 6 and 6, 12. 1 and 2, 3. The total equals to your 90 degrees, which makes it absolutely perfect. The house of Bet and creation of the light. Here's the gate, here's the Bet, here's your creation, which is Gimel in the house of Vav. 7 and 22 equaling to your 29 birth and your 74 energy, time, Jesus. Let's put on the jets, and then we'll have a Winnipeg. We're not going to get into that, so we're going to continue on with the shapes over here. Here is my first one. Here's the 45-degree angle. When I split this one out over here to reach both ends, I end up with the 45-degree angle, okay, which, if I understand correctly, brings me to 67.5 degrees, equaling to what is 1/3, 22.5, 1/3, 22.5, and then in this one is 3/3, equaling 67. So one is 2, one is 1, 2/3, and 1/3. Coming from 1/3, coming from 1/3 the pole. I like to look at hockey, and I'd like to say that there's 20-minute period, and a period is 28 days, and a cycle is 84 days, because there are 21 dots on a cube times 4 cubes equaling to 84 dots. There are 33 void areas per cube. Times 3 cubes is 99, and times 4 cubes equals to 132. 100 and what is that? 110.5. 110 times 4 times 90 is 36. I'm trying to figure out the amount of anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm trying to divide it by 2. 116, 58, 29. Right into your birth, the IT system. RK. Inverted is IP. So if you want to know where your IP address is, it's in the IK from our creation. Understanding these dots and these missing dots. Also note that this is Jupiter. It's also noted to be 9/11. It's also noted to be 13. It is the first 13. It is the beginning. It is the end. It is the connection to the moon because of where our alphabet fits at the 13th and 14th letter, and it becomes male. Male goes from 13 into 14, where the female comes into the 13. But nobody says it. The 13th card in the deck, okay, is the king. But when you're playing war, okay, the 13th card in the deck gets moved up and it becomes the queen, where the king becomes the 14th card in the deck. The numeric value for king is 41, for queen is 62. So we're going to get back to the Star of David now. So here we have our base Star of David, right? But we also have this that we've designed. So now if we design the right angle and the left angle, we're going to have to say right. We're going to have to say left. And they're both words. 27 and 15 is 42. It becomes 62, and left becomes 17 and 6, 23, 33, 53. 6 and 2, 8, 5 and 3, 8. Let's check that out again. 12 and 5 is 17, and 6, 23, and 20. Is that 43? So I made an error. Give me 1 second. 12 and 5 is 17, and 6, 23, it is 43. So 1 becomes 7, 1 becomes 8. The mathematics, this one will boost itself to 20. This one's going to boost itself to 19 because the mathematics will create this. 4 by 3, 12, 6 by 2, 12, and they match up with 7 and 8. Also in the deck of cards, right, the 8 card is designed like this. And the 7 card is connected to the 8 card, designed like this. And this is the 7 and 8, and it's in the family of 6. 6 and 8. You do not get to come into this world, and even this dice cube shows me, any more than 6. There is no 9. There's always 7 of 9. And if you go to the telephone, the 7 and the 9 have P, Q, R, S, and W, X, Y, Z, in which you go to the ATM. They've removed the Q and the Z, being the 26th and the 17th letter. And in the game of pool, you add up 1 over to 20 equals to 210, and you add 1 over to 15, it equals to 120. The numeric value in 201 is in relationship to the crossing spirit or beam that goes through the moon. It's also the blue ball in pool, where you have 10 and 2 blue. Now 10 and 2 is also like 2 and 1. And they connect together, separated by Tav. I like to call Tav the elephant. That's the way I see it. Like that. And then you have this area over here. And if you take a look at the ace, you'll have an area just like this on the ace card inside the feet. And noted together that they're both 88, which represents Pegasus as a word, purple as a word, constellation of Pegasus in NGC 7286. This is the dividing house of DC on 1 cube. This is the house of Bait. 2 inside 7 that divides 6 and 8 is the 7th gate. And you can also see it if you look at Rubik's Cube, which seems to be out of my hands right now, Rubik's Cube. So we have that. So we're going to get back to the shapes, the Star of David. So now we're going to go to this Star of David. In fact, this Star of David, we can also look at this as the letter D for Dalet. We can also look at it as number 4. We can also say this is 44, as DD is area space. But when you make total area space, you create 4, 4, 4, and 4, D, 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 and D. And that's your, if you want to look at it as 8 and 8, if you want to look at it that way. There's many ways to look at the understanding of this. But now we're just going to draw it this way, right? And then when it comes into fashion, we showed you over here that there's 2 ways to do it. We've drawn it this way. The right angle and the left angle coming together in one. Now we're going to go to the, can I go to the back page? We're going to create another Star of David, okay, at its minimum size. And its minimum size, whoop, is right over here. The minimum size for the Star of David for a right or left angle is this minimum size. And you can see that inside of it, you can also see a place to fit that cube. So you end up with 33 on each side if you want to look at it that way. It all depends what your perception and rationality is to understanding of what's going on in these shapes. And you can notice that there's a smaller area here and a larger, is it that way, or is it just me? The going up here, it's supposed to be the same thing. I don't know why it looks smaller. Maybe I'll just have to do that. Okay. Looks smaller to me. I don't know why. But anyways, This is that minimum size. Can I make it smaller? Well, I'm going to show you what happens if I go smaller. If I go smaller from here, I end up going through here, right? And I can't meet until here. So we can't go any smaller than this size. And the area space that's occupied, or that it occupies, right, is over here. But the secondary area space that it occupies is to understand that we, okay, have to understand how the total area is used, right? So our total area is used here, and their total area is used over here. See the way CC comes together? It's broken up. But these are the way the area is used, and I have to use all these points to understand my circle, because this is what my base is. This is what I have to stand for. So when we draw it the other way, right, when I come out here and I draw it the other way, right, it now tilts to this side. Now I'm going to show you a different formation. Whoa, what happened? Sorry about that. Whoop. Let me fix that. So what's happening now, when you take a look at this, this is the setup for the vortex of Tesla 369. In this, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it close enough. I'll just hold it back. I'll just tell you what it is. Hold on a second. Maybe I can... Can I get that bigger? So when I show you it bigger, you can see 369, 147, 258, 369. You can also go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it just keeps going around, and 1, 4, 7 goes together. So here you can see a right and a left triangle that fits in this circle. Here we're going to connect straight lines for 3, 6, 9 and not connect them together. And here's what this order of design. The next one is when you put all the lines together, it creates this. So I didn't put in here, I didn't do this design. 1 second, is there one? Yes, over here is the same thing, but what you have to do, okay, is take away 369, this main design, and you will see that 258, 147 split apart wider here than they do over here. Now we also talk about that the letter B is bigger on one side than the other side, and et cetera, et cetera. There's designs and art pieces that go with it. So now you can understand these two. So when I take these two and I put them together, I'm hoping you can see this, to see one star on this side, one star on this side, and then between becomes that chalice, and then becomes this piece over here to where and then this piece over here. I'm not sure what else is written on here. I can also bring these together to create one star. Just for an update as I put together the design. You can fast forward through this, skip over it, but I want to show you what I'm doing. So what I do is I take from this image, I split it in half, and I create my first joining star of division. Star of David, star of division, gates of divide, gates of omega, breaking up the egg. Here's one part, and how can I shade in the other part? Inside the house, outside the house, male and female, understanding a little bit of the difference of what's going on inside this star. But remember, this is I just want to note that there's two things that I'm thinking of. Either A, I overlap these two corners when creating the design. I overlap these two corners and I connect the design together, or I put them separate. I have to do them both ways to understand what is actually going on. And when you create this is a half area. So if I'm going to create my first Star of David on one angle, oh, did I get that right? Okay, I'm going through a half area in order to complete the See, this is by 3. 1 does not work. Okay, and 2 does not work. Is there a division in 2? There's no division in 2 in order to create my star. It only begins with 3. Only 3 by 3. Not 1 or 2 work. And the first and second planet do not have moons. The next 2 planets do. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals to 3 and 2. So now we're going to end up showing you the next angle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this one, okay, I split it right here at the first check mark. And now I have my whole complete cell. See the way I have my first cell over here? And it ends up to be 1 1/2 cell. And that's the same numeric value for Mars. 1 1/2 cell. And this is how I better understand how shapes work and how cells work, because I believe that if we're created in identical formation to the Lord, so is all the work. So we're going to end up doing this design, and I'm going to just, you can fast forward it. I'm not going to stop the cameras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to go over to here, and then we're going to connect it together. And then we're going to do the second part. See, it doesn't reach over here. So should I have kept it here, or should I keep it out of reach? Went over through, I did this one running over through 1 cell, and I completed it running over through 1 cell. Okay, so I'm going to go and run the first cell here and the second cell here. And in order to get this done, only 1 cell, meaning and giving and leaving separation over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I run this line down here. It's not the same thing. If I was a lefty, if I was a lefty, I would be here, right? But I'm a righty, and I block out what I do. I move away this way, here, I move away this way. Anyways, now we're going to come in, and we're going to go over to 1 1/2 short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to run down over here, and then we're going to run up over here. So here's my first star, here's my second star, here's my 4 star of David's. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did up here. I'm going to do down here. Where's my pen? And we're going to create that second star. See the way I met over here? So now I'm going to meet over here. I'm not going to meet here. The only place to meet, the meeting point, is right over here. And then I'm going to create my second star. And the second star meets over here. And then we're going to cross it down to the last star. And if you can see, the last star is right over here, which are created from these 2 stars. So we're just going to try and see if I can color that in. I'm not sure which color dimension to give it. Let me see. Yes, I'm going to use, should I use this one? I'm trying to see this was the upper. Now I'm going to create this for the lower. So I'm going to use the same yellow, or maybe I should be using the red this time. So here's my yellow. And for the downward one, right, I'm just trying to see what I should do. Should I have done that or not? Should I have done that to show the difference? Just trying to see what I should do in here. And I'm not sure if you can understand this, but over here, right, is 3 areas. I'm going to show you down here. I have to unscramble this a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I'm not using all of it. 4 and 6, Zion, Israel. And then the other one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Then you're going to come down here, And you're going to go 1, 2, and you're going to come down here, and we have our first part of our heart. When we create the second part, did it? 1, 2, 3, 4, and we create the second part of the heart. And in this part is where my hexagon comes in, and then my cube is now created inside what is all the twin Star of Davids and the right angle and the left angle separated Star of Davids. Now, I can also, and I'm not going to do it in this video, and I'm hoping to do it if somebody wants to try, is we can converge these two stars over each other. Or we can just use this big square or cube as our gateway, and then we end up with Rubik's Cube in the center. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. From the form of the artwork in the skeleton alphabet, please share, like, help the channel. Much appreciated. Keep me at my desk. Thank you for watching this video.